You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Las Vegas Raiders and the fact that the win, the big win, the 63-point game that the Raiders dropped on the Chargers may provide a pivot point in the direction of Antonio Pierce getting closer and closer to getting that Raiders job, that head coaching job. A lot of Raiders fans are pulling for him. By the way, you're 6-8. The Bengals did just now tie the game that's being played against the Vikings, and if they hit the extra point, it'll be 17-17. Wow, Jake Browning again being very competitive. The league has seriously got to look at how they evaluate quarterbacks. I mean, seriously, I would start saying, look, if they haven't played 30 games, we're not drafting them. And because he's played a lot of football, and guess what? If you put weapons around a quarterback, they look pretty damn good. Well, nonetheless, we've got some things about Antonio Pierce we want to talk about because Mike Florio was on with Dan Patrick, and he said some things along with the guy that covers the Raiders for The Athletic, Vic Tolfer. Yeah. They've both made comments, both related back to Antonio Pierce getting this job. This is what Florio said because he believes Pierce is getting close, okay? And Mark Davis is going to take a harder look at Antonio Pierce because of what he did involving Rich Bisaccia. Now, the most surprising part in this is that Florio just drops it in here that Davis, I guess, never even considered giving that Raiders job to Bisaccia, which is baffling to me. Baffling. And I still wonder if it's one of the biggest reasons why Josh McDaniels had no chance there. Like he's a terrible coach, absolutely. But if this whole team wanted Bisaccia to get this job, they had to be coming into last season pissed off, and not in a good way. You want to talk about losing the locker room before the locker room even shows up for minicamp? Fire a coach that the players love, like they did Bisaccia. That's a great way to do it. Quote, we need to go back to what the Raiders didn't do 2 years ago when Rich Bisaccia was the interim coach after Gruden left. He took the team to the playoffs, almost beat the Bengals, who went on to the Super Bowl that year, and it was as if Mark Davis gave no thought whatsoever to keeping Rich Bisaccia. This time around, not that they are a playoff team, but when you look at what Antonio Pierce is doing, the fire he brings to the job, the intensity, he's like the perfect Raiders coach. And to set the franchise record in points 4 days after getting shut out, they're not quitting. They're not giving up. They're not folding the tents. This is why we're talking about Brandon Staley being fired and Antonio Pierce being hired. It's a lost season. It's over. You're done. You're playing out the string, and you're risking injury along the way. Antonio Pierce found a way to push buttons on his guys to get them to show up and play their asses off, and Brandon Staley didn't. Mike Florio is absolutely right about that. Absolutely right. I mean, they could have just said, we're taking it out. We're not going to do this. Antonio Pierce is these players' motivation in this season. Yes, they got a minute chance of reaching the playoffs. You know, I mean, the Steelers and the Colts got a loser leaves town game today, potentially. The Bengals may end up losing to the Vikings. You know, there may be some paths where the Raiders slip in at 9-8 if they can win out. But for the most part, they're playing for Antonio Pierce and to get him that job. I think coupled with the fact that Mark Davis got it wrong 2 years ago, not keeping Rich Bisaccia, that may make him think now, you know what? I'm not going to do this twice. I'll do a short-term contract, but I want to give this guy a chance from the beginning of the offseason all the way through to the end of the season to see what he can do. Interesting. Well, you come over here to The Athletic. Raiders make loud statement for Antonio Pierce. So, and all of this is about the fact that they are playing for this coach. The visiting team had not only come out flat, they laid down in the second quarter and never put up a fight. The Raiders were only too happy to elbow drop their rival as they wanted to show a national television audience and Raiders owner Mark Davis that interim coach Antonio Pierce should get the full-time job. They're playing for this coach. They're talking about coming back after the Vikings. It was a big turnaround from last week, but we believe in one another, the coaches, and the process. That was Jack Jones. We're all out, balls to the wall for Coach Antonio Pierce, Coach AP, as they're calling him. That tells you right there, they are playing their guts out for this dude. Quote, we are playing for AP and Champ because we love both of them. Right tackle Jermaine Almanora said, it's up to us if they're going to be the coach and the GM. I love this comment, and it's, hey, this is some credit to Gruden. They embody the Raider way, and this is the first time since Jon Gruden was here in 2021 that I really feel like I was playing for the Raiders. Wow. That's a powerful statement. And also, it tells you right there, they liked Jon Gruden too. They did. They liked Jon Gruden. Man, that's something. We are playing hard for everybody, whoever's in this building. Jenkins said, everybody can see it. No matter if we win or lose, we're just going to go out there swinging every chance we get. Coach AP is an OG. They're playing their butts off to get this coach the job. Now, you come down here, and I'm trying to find Jones. This is the defensive back. He ends up saying the following. Quote, he's a hell of a coach. Cornerback Nate Hobbs said, my rookie year, the same thing happened. We closed out the season strong, similar to this with Bisaccia, and we got rid of him. Hopefully that's a sign. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's very interesting. So the players are telling you right there that they played their asses off for Bisaccia after Jon Gruden got let go. They're also telling you Jon Gruden had the Raiders way going there. Whether the national perception wanted to give him credit for that or not, Jon and Rich Bisaccia had the Raiders way going. It was headed in the right direction. They thought that was their coach, and Mark Davis let him go. The players are telling you that was a mistake. So what Florio is saying, and he's probably right, I do think Antonio Pierce has got a very good shot of the job, if for no other reason than what happened with Rich Bisaccia. So let's get to this. This is Tom Brady, because once again, he didn't even get a vote. They did not even vote. They left the owners' meetings. The latest round of league meetings came and went without the owners voting on Tom Brady's effort to purchase a significant piece of the Las Vegas Raiders again. It's still not clear if and when the partial sale will ever be approved. The problem's based on reporting from the league meetings in October, and nothing has changed, folks, from what we have talked about prior. And I wanted to throw it in this video. It's still an issue. They don't believe it's enough value. They don't believe he's paying enough money for that 10% ownership. Mark Davis wants to get him in there because of his name, and Tom Brady is a confidant. Tom Brady is somebody that Mark Davis obviously is going to throw football-related ideas at and see how Tom feels about it. Again, I think that's so funny that Josh McDaniels got fired and he was the offensive coordinator for Tom Brady all these years. That tells me something in there, and I can't wait for that to eventually come out. You know, that Tom Brady may have helped get Josh McDaniels out the door. I still think that's interesting. But nonetheless, Antonio Pierce is headed in the right direction towards getting that job. And Mark Davis, I think, finally understands I shouldn't have gotten rid of Rich Bisaccia, who obviously, and Nate Hobbs told you, who was an extension of Gruden. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.